Luke and I were looking for stories to lead with today, and until right now, Luke, you know what we should have done? We should have done a Comic-Con preview. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about what's the hell's even going on with Comic-Con.
What is going on? I feel like no one's going.
And no one's talking,
which I know is
about
a generalization, but
no, I know what you're saying, no, but it's like it's just not. It's not being. I'll tell you what though, because no one is talking about it, and it's not one of those big, huge ones where because Marvel's not even going to be there, and I think DC will be there, but I feel like similar to one that came in right after the pandemic. Everyone was talking about how great it was to go as an experience. I bet you it's going to be the most fun to go to when it's not overly. It still will be crowded, but not overly produced, and all the studios are there. I feel like it feels more like what Comic-Con's supposed to be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so too.
You going?
I'm still debating. My friend and I were talking about taking the train and just going to hang out around San Diego because that's always so fun to do. But yeah, I mean, back in the day, it was so fun because it was just comic book stuff.
Right.
And, you could get into Hall H. You didn't have to camp outside it for 6 days.
Right.
You didn't have people passing out water bottles because people were passing out in line. It was a really different experience. And it's cool that there's so many movies there. It's really fun that, comic book stuff has become part of the pop culture zeitgeist, but it also is a little bit of a bummer that you don't get to experience it in the same way. Because that was what was so cool, was getting to go and interact with artists or your favorite writers. J. Scott Campbell usually still has like an incredible booth, and he's always so fun to go talk to. Go talk to my friends, you guys. But like, you miss out on so much cool, intimate stuff now because of how big it is. So I hope it's fun and chill for people this year.
I hope so too. And there's just, I mean, like I said, there's just not as much going on. It doesn't seem like, anyway. They would probably dispute that, but this is from thegeekery.com. As we complete the last of our packing and wait patiently for our flights, let's look forward to San Diego Comic-Con. This is not a comprehensive list of everything that will happen during our time in and out around the convention center. There's so much to cover. These are the highlights we're hoping to see. Okay, Tron Ares has a panel on Friday at 5:30. That's interesting. Okay. So we'll see about that one. Lucas Museum of Narrative Art Hall. That's on Sunday. That's what these people are particularly going to see. The Long Walk. What is that? What's The Long Walk? The latest film adaptation from Stephen King.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's that one where it's a kind of a game almost, and people get killed off Hunger Games style.
Oh, okay. Project Hail Mary. This one is starting to get a lot of juice. People are really talking about this one. The Lord and Miller.
So excited about this one.
Yeah. So that one will be an interesting one. An Afternoon with George Takei. Oh my. He I was literally just doing clips from Katie Sackhoff's show, who just had him on her show that dropped yesterday. So you guys should go check that out. Oh, but awesome. He's doing something Comic-Con. That's all that they have here. That doesn't seem like it just seems like these particular people. But I don't know. Is there anything? The Tron was the one that stood out to you, right?
Tron, I'm interested in. I'm not the biggest Jared Leto fan, but I love the Tron stuff. I think that world is really cool, so I'm excited to see that. The Long Walk looks like it's going to be so messed up, and I'm really interested in that because that is a bleak Stephen King story. And then Project Hail Mary is something I'm really looking forward to. So those are some cool things that are happening there, at least some fun stuff, hopefully, that people will get to see.
It seems like it. Let's see if there's anything. Well, Hollywood Reporter has one. Maybe Hollywood Reporter has a little bit more detail than the previous one. So from South Park to George Lucas' first Comic-Con inside the most anticipated panels. Okay. No Marvel, no problem here. The Hall H offerings most likely to bring a jolt to San Diego this year.
The Predator movie. Yes.
Badlands. And the trailer just dropped for that one too, but yesterday. Where it was. So that makes sense. That's why they dropped the trailer. Usually not having a Marvel Studios panel signals a less than exciting convention. Still seems that way. There's less rock star energy and less hyped up news, like Robert Downey Jr. reveals Dr. Doom. But even with Marvel sitting out this year's Comic-Con, the lineup is still surprisingly robust. Is it? I don't know if I agree with that so far. We'll see. You tell me, Chris, if you feel like it's robust after I read all these. All right. South Park. Fun. Trey Stone and Matt Parker don't mince words, and with the panel coming with their $3 billion battle over the future of South Park, fans are hoping for some wrestling about Skydance, the presumptive soon-to-be owner of Paramount. They have blaming for holding up season 27. The Long Walk, which we just talked about, the stacked up cast and comers, including Cooper Hoffman and Alien Romulus breakout David Johnson. He was great in Alien Romulus. Could make it the outsiders of this generation, but the real reason to attend is to see how Lionsgate will position the film, which has subject matter so controversial, a contest in which men must walk at least 4 miles an hour or be shot. That New Line gave up the rights to Stephen King novels several years ago. Alien, Earth, and Predator Badlands, after years of being considered second-rate properties, both back up the uprising thanks to Prey and last year's Alien Romulus. Now Predator returns to Hall H with Prey, which is Trachtenberg's next venture, and Alien has the splashy Noah Hawley show. Parent company Disney is all over the con, bringing Jared Leto's Tron Ares to Hall H at 5:30 p.m. Okay, Star Trek Universe. Paramount Plus brings the original geek property for its customary blockbuster 90-minute panel featuring Starfleet Academy, Project Hail Mary. It's again the one that people look to be looking at. Ryan Gosling returns to Comic-Con. Peacemaker. James Gunn arrives for a Superman victory lap to preview season 2 of his. So DC isn't doing a panel. It's just Peacemaker?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm so glad to finally talk to you guys about Cash App. I've been using Cash App forever, and now I get to talk to you guys about it. Don't worry. It's very easy, fast to sign up. Do you even know how much interest your money is earning you in your bank account right now? Well, let me tell you some stuff. Cash App can do way more than you think to make your money work for you. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchases, you can earn up to 4% annual interest on your savings. There's no hidden fees, no minimum balance requirements. Also, you can hit your saving goals even faster by turning on the Roundups feature on your Cash App card with Roundups. Every purchase you make using the card is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and that spare change is automatically put into your savings. Don't let your money sit around and gather dust. Make it work for you. Take advantage of high interest savings on Cash App today. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code and earn some additional cash. For real, just download the Cash App, use our exclusive referral code, Kristian, in your profile, send $5 to a friend. Within 14 days, you're going to get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partner. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC, direct deposit, roundups, overdraft coverage, and discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosure. This is a very lackluster year. This is not a robust year at all. George Lucas, Star Wars mastermind, shockingly has never been to the con. That changes his year when he's joined by Del Toro and Star Wars prequel production designer Doug Chiang for a sneak peek at the new Lucas Museum of Narrative Art. That'd be fun to go to.
That sounds cool.
If you're there, that'd be fun to go to.
That's not robust.
No, not even close. It's not robust.
That's pretty lackluster, if we're going to be honest. But you will actually get into things, it sounds like. You will actually be able to walk through Artist's Alley not feeling like a sardine. Because I get so freaked out inside Comic-Con just because of the traffic situation of being shoulder to shoulder with people. And it gets really overwhelming. So this hopefully will just allow some people to do more of the OG comic book kind of stuff that you go for. But I don't know. Last year was just so rad. We had the Shaun of the Dead anniversary too. So we had the pop-up of the Winchester. There was so much stuff happening outside of the con. There were the drone shows from Marvel. It was huge.
The best, and I understand, I've said this many times over. I think it is very smart for studios not to be at Comic-Con and spending all this money because you don't need to spend the money. However, the best time Comic-Con ever was probably in between the 2014 to 2017 area. I remember going, and it was when I would have read that list down, I would have read to you Friday, Universal has their panel where it's essentially CinemaCon, right? Where they're going to show you all their new movies and all the new trailers and everything that they have coming out for the upcoming year. Fox has their thing. They're going to be doing their thing. Before Fox and Disney weren't the same thing. Disney doing their own thing. Marvel doing their own thing. DC doing their own thing. Warner Brothers having a separate thing. It was every day was boom, 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 boom. And that's when they spent so much money to do it, and they realized that you're going to get the same kind of traction by releasing a trailer online for your movie than you are debuting it and trying to keep it secret at Comic-Con. But the flip side to that is, if you're at Comic-Con for all those things I just read, if you're at Comic-Con, those are great things to go to if you're there. If you bought a ticket to go to Comic-Con, that's exciting. I'm talking more so about the robust nature of big news, everything else that people are going to get excited for, that you have to go there to go watch, like the Doctor Doom stuff last year was like a major Comic-Con moment. There doesn't seem like there's going to be any major Comic-Con moments this year.
I'm wondering if they'll do something at that Peacemaker panel, though. I wonder if we'll get a little extra something in there.
Maybe because it is like the first follow-up to Superman.
Yeah.
Maybe with some kind of, I think it would be a smart move and a good headline grabber if James Gunn announced something during that panel. I think it's a good way to bring attention to the Peacemaker panel in general. You drop a big piece of news right around that time. That would be smart. I mean, when is it? I think it's like debuts a week later. I think it's like in August or something, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing, is that most people now have been trained with Comic-Con, that then someone said it, like, they want big guests, they want big names, they want big news. Like that's where you've been trained. And as you said before, that's not what Comic-Con essentially was. And for the people, it's similar to Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration, I can't remember what year it was. It might have been the London one. And people were getting on me for saying it. I can't remember what it was. There was a year that Lucasfilm didn't realize that when the whole merger happened with Disney and everything, and they started to do celebrations, they become like their own Comic-Con. And Celebration was already going on way before any of that happened, but it became the same kind of media news outlet for these projects. That's what everyone was expecting, especially in 2015, when you had the Force Awakens trailer debut, and then you announced the Rogue One thing and other things, and it became there's like tons of news that came out of it. So when they did it again, I think it was like a year later, and there was nothing, and they just couldn't even get a trailer out for Rogue One. They couldn't even get because there was so many reshoots and everything too. They showed something that wasn't even public, and it was a mess, and there was no organization behind it. And this doesn't feel messy. This just feels like, it's a fun thing to go to if you're a comic book fan.
It feels a little old school, though, which I do like, because I mean, one of my first years I went, I got to meet Stan Lee just because he was hanging out for a Shattered Dimensions panel. He was just standing off in a corner by himself, and I walked up and had a whole conversation with him, and it was one of the highlights of my life. And it was just because it was so much more accessible those days. So I'm trying to be optimistic about it, of, hey, maybe there's not as many big like studio things, but those of you who have tickets are probably going to have one of the most magical times. It's going to be fun.
I think that there's really two Comic-Cons that happen. There's the Comic-Con that you just mentioned, and then there's the industry Comic-Con, right?
Yes.
Because the other thing that used to be that I used to, and I don't know if I was talking about this. I was talking about this with Ellis on the phone. It wasn't on the air, but I've certainly talked about it on the air before. I went to, and I was lucky enough, and I was blessed enough that I was working at two jobs. I was working for both Fandango and Spike TV at the time, at the same exact time, right? I was working and I was booked from both of them, and I would work at the Fandango, do an interview, rush over to the Padres Stadium, shoot stuff with Spike, rush back over. It was great to be working, but I was mentally just exhausted, right? Exhausted. And it was like and I couldn't really enjoy the Comic-Con because it's all it was work. I said, I don't know if I really want to do that again. Like, I want to double book, because I had the opportunity to double book the next year, and I didn't. I just did Fandango, which was great. I had a lot of time, a lot of fun doing it, but I still said, I'm working again, like during the day and everything too. And I was lucky enough that when I was working at Collider as an executive, and I was just basically offered, hey, do you want to just go to you basically just go and schmooze and go to the parties. That was the most fun I ever had at Comic-Con. I would walk around on the floor. I went to the pool, and then at night, that was my work, was to go to these parties by the industry standards, and that was a lot of fun. But that's not everybody's Comic-Con, obviously.
No, but that is the best. I had one year where I just went to San Diego, and it was just, oh, I'm going to go to the IndieWire party. I'm going to go to this Netflix thing. I'm going to go to this Crunchyroll thing. I just had sliders all day. It was the best. I had so much fun.
It's so much fun. And the food and everything. I mean, it was great. I mean, I had someone asked me the other day, "Are you going to Comic-Con?" I said, I probably won't ever go again. I went like, and because I'm just New York Comic-Con, I'll probably go because I still have never been.
Me neither. I really want to.
Never been to New York Comic-Con. So that I'll probably go to. But I went, it was like 10 years in a row. I went a lot, had a really good time, have nothing negative to say about Comic-Cons. I think they're wonderful. I think people should go and have a great time. My time has passed for that. But who knows? Maybe I'll go to another New York, or go to a New York Comic-Con this year. We shall see.